Hello there and welcome along. Today's rose review throws us back to 2004 and an introduction by David Austin Roses named after the RHS garden in Devon. This is a Rosemoor, a really lovely and very interesting rose. I say launched and bred by David Austin Roses in 2004. It is a really quite substantial shrub rose, reaching around 5 feet by 5 feet. It's tall, upright and forms a really nice shaped shrub that you can either plant in the middle of a lawn, in the back of a border, or maybe if you're feeling particularly opulent, you can use as a boundary or informal hedge. Rosemoor is a free flowering variety, starting flowering in mid-June and repeat flowering all the way through the season to the back end of September and into October. As you can see, the repeat is really strong. These are the clusters of flowers I've cut off of it today, and the repeat is already present on several stems. I couldn't bear to cut them all off, but you can see the repeat already marching its way forward here. The foliage is very dark green and very highly textured. Let's break a piece off for you. It's crinkly and almost waxy to the touch, really quite coarse and quite robust, so a very good rose for taking salt winds or an exposed site. And as you'd expect with a rose named after an RHS garden and associated with the RHS, this particular rose enjoys great health, vigour and disease resistance. It has virtually no thorns whatsoever. There's a small amount of mossing up the very back of the leaf stems. That mossing is continued on the actual stems themselves. I did leave them in place, but they're actually not a huge amount here whatsoever. They're almost needle-like, very tiny indeed. All you have to do is brush your finger along the stems to remove them. It's actually, as I say, upright and quite proud in its habit. You'll find the shrub standing quite upright and holding its flowers up towards the light and the sun, which is really very pleasant indeed. Flowers are produced in enormous sprays. You can look at this one here, up to 20 to 30 flowers per stem. The flowers themselves don't actually last very long, not more than about a day or two on the actual plant before they shatter, opening in succession. The sprays never really filling out and actually being smothered in blooms. They open a smattering at a time, maybe 3 or 4 at a time, before each flower fades and the petals drop. They open from the most exquisite creamy white buds, which are tinged with the most lovely apricot and apple blossom white tinges. When the flowers actually open themselves, you can see this lovely sort of lime green effect to the entire stem, the little bits of white poking out as the buds start to open. When the flowers open themselves, they're deeply ruffled, quite small. They're around 2.5 inches, 2 to 2.5 inches across. They open this most exquisite antique apple blossom white with this lovely deep textured and rustling effect to them. You can see really quite enchanting as that flower opens, the colour bleaching out of the flower as it fully opens. It's deeply ruffled and rosetted. It's really got a lot of texture to it. It's very attractive, and right in the very centre is a very nice lime green button eye, which is really quite cute. I've also left on for you here a dead head, and it's a little bit of a strange thing for me to talk to you about, but I've never seen this characteristic with another rose I've reviewed, so I thought I would mention it. These little dead heads, you can see the outer sepals have peeled back all the way to the stem, and you're left with this little cone-like structure. It's actually firm to touch. It's actually full of stamens where they've been pollinated and are standing proud, but there's a very strange sort of cone-shaped rosetted sort of dead head left behind once the flower has faded. It really is most attractive. Fragrance wise, I'm actually rating this one as a 4 out of 10 star. The fragrance, it's clean and it's fresh, which is really nice. It has notes of green apple or crab apple. It's then finished off with things like melon and cucumber. It really is quite fresh and attractive. This is the perfect rose to be growing if you wanted to cut a flower and bring it into the house. Very much like blush noisette, where you want to add that sort of sense of whimsy and that lovely cottage garden feel to your flower arrangements. Rosemoor is going to give you that same sort of effect when you cut it and bring it to the house. Enjoy all the different stages of the flower, whether it's the lime green buds tinged with that lovely creamy white and apricot, or whether it's the actual flowers themselves opening that lovely deep pink and then have that lovely apple blossom white tinge to them as they fade. It's a really nice one. Deadhead this rose in sprays. I say if this one was left on the plant after several weeks and all these flowers had spent, I would actually deadhead this back and let the repeat march forward. But a really nice rose if you're planning to grow something informal. You want a little bit of a break from the flounce and the frill of some of the really larger varieties. Rosemoor is a really nice one for that. I hope you've enjoyed today's review. I will see you all again very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.